I was wondering if there's any particular cornerback you're most looking forward to matching up against this season?
Not at this point. No one in particular. I look at games and I look at teams as a whole, and there's a lot of teams that I'm ready to play. I think that we are, as Georgia, we can't wait to get another jersey and be able to hit somebody different. And it's been a long time since we played some real football, and I think that's one of the motivating forces behind this offseason, and the reason that I can grind like I am is just because of the fact that I have one more season to play football in the red and black, and it motivates me.
Hey, Chris, here in the front. Can you tell us a little bit the difference between Aaron and Hudson? They're both great players, but so what's the difference in catching from them?
Aaron will hate me for saying this, but Hudson's taller. That's one difference. But then also, there's not too many differences. They both have tons of experience. They both know the offense to a T. Hudson has a lot of touch on his pass, and Aaron has a lot of zip. And so that's one of the differences. Hudson's a big guy who anticipates where the ball's going to go, and he'll throw before the receiver's open and throw them open. So, Hudson's definitely a different kind of player, but I don't think there's any drop-off in his gameplay.
From the limited time you've seen Sony, Michel, and Nick Chubb, what are your impressions of them, and can they fill the void if Keith and Todd get hurt again?
Yeah, before I say something about them, a lot of people forget that we had Brendan Douglas too, and all three of those guys, Sony, Nick, and Brendan, have had incredible off seasons. Sony and Nick have to learn the offense, and they're doing a great job at it right now. Their pass pro looks great. It's advanced for a freshman. And they look like they would be able to step in if they were needed.
Hey, Chris, is it pretty safe to say just the way the last season went, these off-season workouts, there's kind of been a new attitude inside the program that maybe wasn't there before?
Yeah, there were a lot of changes that happened, and a lot of people who were at Georgia that are not there anymore. And I think it was kind of a statement to say, we're going to do things the Georgia way. And if that's not the way that you want to do them, then you won't be here. We love those guys, but in order for this team to move forward, some changes had to be made. And the team really has bought into that, and they realize what we need to do to get where we want to go. And the thing that we can control is only ourselves. And moving forward, the young guys need to realize that, and the older guys have realized it, and they need to lead with that in mind.
Chris, do you think your work with a lightsaber is going to help on the field at all this year?
I don't know about that, but it's definitely a way to relieve some stress. College football is a high stress. I'll call it an occupation because it requires a lot of your time, and just being able to do something like that and get my mind off of some things is good for you. You always have to have time to change things up.
Chris, this is even more off base, but have you seen Josh Murray in The Bachelorette? And what are your impressions?
Josh is killing it. Josh is doing a great job. I haven't talked to him since filming the show, but he seems to be doing great. And, I'm not a person who watches The Bachelor, but my girlfriend watches it. So when she's watching it, I kind of see him on there, and I think he's doing well. So he's representing the G very well.
Chris, can you talk about the wide receivers as a whole, the offseason, and specifically Malcolm Mitchell? How's he looked after the injury he suffered last year?
Yeah, the wide receivers are looking great. The group looks deep. We have those guys who are injured back. Justin Scott Wesley, Malcolm Mitchell, and Michael Bennett looking well, and they're running well as well. Malcolm looks explosive. He's doing a great job. He's working out. He's running with the team. He's doing 7-on-7s. And, for Malcolm, it's just making sure that he takes the time that's necessary. No one's in his body. No one knows how he feels. And he has to express when he needs to pull back a little bit. He's an extremely hard worker, and if you don't monitor that, he may overwork himself. But he's had a great offseason, and we're excited to see him play.